And we're live. Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Life as I See It. I'm Evelyn Furness, and welcome, as I said. That noise in the background is my wonderful son, who he will be having his show on right after me. And then after his show is done, we're going to be getting together and doing the special edition of the Game Night on Finesse TV, Big Brother at Home Edition, Part 2. Okay.
I'm going to win.
And that's the last you're going to hear from tonight.
Boo.
Shut up. Before you get my thought. And I don't want to lose my thought. Speaking of thoughts, I have not had the best week, you might say, in a way. My problem, unfortunately, is that I'm on antidepressants. And I haven't been able to take them for the last week and a half to 2 weeks. Needless to say, it was not looking good by Friday because I was starting to feel the effects of having no medication. I must have a medication. And I mean, I don't go stir-cry crazy like I'm going to kill somebody, although I might have the other day. But it's for my, to keep me from being so depressed. So by Friday, of course, me not having any hour. By this point, I'm weepy, I'm irritable, I'm bitchy. You don't want to come near me. It's not pretty. So I had gone out. I had run out to White Oaks Mall, and I had a pretty good time there. I was in a fairly decent mood until the time to come home. So I get out to the bus, and I'm going to catch the 90 Express to get me downtown to catch my 19 home. Okay. And I see these two other ladies that have walkers. So I asked them very nicely and politely if I could go on first so that I could, turn around and get in, because my scooter does not turn on a dime. They say, sure, no problem. So the bus shows up, and I'm heading in onto the bus. No problem. I get in, I get myself turned around, did a really good job, right in, no problem. The bus driver, she takes off to do a washroom break, and the other two ladies come on, and the bus is filling up. Everybody wearing their masks, which is awesome. I mean, I am so glad to see that. That the majority of the people who are going on the bus are wearing a mask. That's perfect. It's sad they had to make it mandatory to get people to do that, but at least they are now. So I'm sitting there, and sure enough, the bus driver comes back in, and she looks at me, and by now I'm looking around, and there ain't no other seats that I could take, and there's people who are standing in the back. So she says to me, goes, "You can't sit in your scooter." Okay. Now I've been through this before. I've been doing this for the last 4.5 years. And I finally just gave up. I mean, once I got a cushion to sit on the regular seats, it wasn't so bad. But my scooter was loaded down, and I had to, in between my legs there, and I didn't really want to have to lift it all up and move it, get out, put it back on when it weighs so much. Especially since I really didn't feel like it was necessary. I mean, for the last few months, because of the pandemic, I really haven't wanted to sit around all the other people. I wanted to sit my own little area. Bless you. Bless you, my son.
Allergies.
Go away. As I was really interrupted there.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Shut up. You think this is good. Wait till we get to game night. That's going to get really fun. So anyhow, as I was saying, so I said to the lady, the bus driver, I said, and where am I supposed to sit? There are no seats available. And she said, I don't care. You got to sit. Get off the scooter. Okay. So the one lady, she moves her walker, thankfully, and puts down the one seat, and lets me sit. And so I can sit there, and I thanked her. And I said to the bus driver, you do know, of course, that with the bus being so crowded, and right now with coronavirus, I really don't want to take up too many seats, and it's bad if I'm taking up to 3, you're asking me to take out 5. I don't like that, but anyhow. So she says to me that, well, the scooter is taking 3. In other words, if I don't like it, don't use the scooter. Okay, I've had this before. Going on. So now we're leaving, and I'm sitting there, and I'm hanging in there. My mood is not good because it's just the idea that I had to move. And like I say, right now with no medication, it doesn't take much. So I'm sitting there and I'm trying not to lose it. And I get downtown. Now downtown, they're doing construction on King Street. So the downtown buses are a nightmare. So I went to ask the bus driver, okay, the 19. I'm assuming that those going down Wellington to Richmond. So can I use the stop at Wellington and Richmond? And she said, well, there is a stop at Oxford, or Quebec and Richmond. I don't like that stop, okay? I really don't, because you get over there and you can't tell, and the buses, even though they keep telling you they're going to come in 5 minutes, they don't. So I don't like that spot. But by now, we're pulling into the Dundas and Wellington stop for her bus. So I said, and people are getting off. So I said, well, since that stop was available, I'll just get off here and go there. Oh, you don't want to do that. The other one's closer. And she takes off with me on the bus. By now, I'm ready to lose it completely. So we get off. I finally get off this bus. Couldn't wait to get away from her. And my son, unfortunately, made the bad timing of calling me. Unfortunately, this poor kid didn't know what was going to hit him. And I couldn't understand anything he was saying. I was not in the mood to hear him. So finally I did, look, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm going to talk to you later. So I hang up. My boss shows up. Remarkably, not too far off on time. That's a miracle. And it's a smaller bus, so they're hard to get onto. So I get on the bus, and I get myself turned around and everything. And the bus is only had maybe 3 or 4 other people on the bus. So, of course, the driver announces that once again, I'm going to have to get off my scooter and sit over there in the seats. Okay. This is not good because I'm ready to kill. And I ended up moving reluctantly. Because keep in mind, if I move, I got to lift this damn bag up and down, and it's heavier than hell. So I sit there. And by this point, I have lost it. Thank God I'm wearing a mask, because then nobody could really tell what was going on, because I'm sitting there like this, and you really couldn't see. And I'm crying, very quietly crying. I finally get myself under control, and I went to talk to the bus driver. And I said to him, I know you're not making the rules, you're only helping me follow the rules, as they are. But you have to understand that I might get a little perturbed by this, because the way they treat people who are on the bus with a scooter is totally different from how they treat any other disability. We are second-class citizens. We're not allowed to sit on our scooter. We have to get off. Even if we can't. If we can't get off because we're really, our back's really sore, or we can't walk that far, they don't care. You have to get off. And if you don't want to get off the scooter, you can get off the bus. That's their attitude. So, and I've been dealing with this a long time. And I can also tell the drivers that do not like scooters. I don't know why. I mean, really. But they don't. And some of them give you such a hard time. It's disgusting. So I said to him, I said, I am tired of being treated like a second-class disability. I told him, you wouldn't think of treating a person who is blind or is hearing impaired or has a cast or is in a wheelchair any way like this. In fact, you go out of your way to help them, and you give them pleasant comments, and you treat them humanly and decently. And what do I get? Get off the scooter. Okay? and I'm not supposed to lose it. Now, I don't ride my scooter because it's fun, although it is. I do it because I can't walk or stand longer than 5 minutes. And when I get off the scooter, then I gotta go sit on the chair thing, and I bounce on there all the time, and there's no give. So my back by the time I get home, I'm crippled. I can barely move. Sometimes I've been in close to tears sitting there. Now, like I said, I do have a cushion now, but this thick, and it does help to a degree, but it's not perfect. And I don't feel like I have to move anyway because nobody else moves. They say it's for my safety. Apparently, people in scooters are the only people that are worried about safety because nobody else they don't care about. I've seen them take off before a senior citizen can sit down. I've seen seniors fall off the chair because of the way the driver was driving, and they didn't give it air. I've almost fallen off many times because they didn't give a care. You want to drive around safely, then we won't have these problems. You can't whip around corners at 60 miles an hour and think it's safe. It isn't. So I'm saying this, of course, the bus driver doesn't give two hoots, I can tell. But I piece. And I also mentioned to him that I've had the opportunity to ride on a power wheelchair. And trust me, I'm a lot safer on my scooter. Because that thing, I feel like I'm going to fall off of it all the time. I did not like it at all. But now we're home. I get off and I head home. Thank God. And I now have some medication. So I'm much better now. And that leads me to another thing I found out the other day when I was talking to my friend. I discovered a while back that I don't have the most usual body. In fact, you might say it's strange. She mentioned that she had found a new bra and the straps actually stayed on her shoulders. I wouldn't know what that would feel like, okay? Now, keep in mind, these are because they're tighter and they're more strapped on. But even these could fall off, could go down a bit. They don't stay put. Because they don't have any shoulder to speak of, right? And it's like sloped. I can't wear a purse on this. I can't, because it just falls off. And when I wear my bras, 9 times out of 10, the strap is down here somewhere. I hate it. But, that's my shoulders. Oh, and for the record, you'll notice I only have this much forehead. Most people have more than that so that they can have different hairstyles that they can use. And it's fine. If I don't have my hair tied up like this in some way, it's in my face. I can have my bangs trimmed every 2 weeks. It will still be in my face. And I can't handle it in my face. So I have no forehead. I swear it's getting smaller as I go along. I swear it is. And then years ago, I was up in Ottawa visiting my brother and his wife. And it was summertime, so we're all walking around in our shorts and whatever, and I had bare feet on. Now, apparently, according to my sister-in-law, and my other sister-in-law agreed with her, my feet looked funny. Okay. And because apparently, well, I have flat feet. They're short, they're wide, and flat. When they did, one time I had gone someplace to get North Peaks insert made. So they did the mold. I looked at the mold. It's a square. It's an actual square. Swear to God. And another thing with it, that when I'm walking along the flooring tile, and it's hot and it's a bit sweaty, my feet make noise. They pucker. So you go puck, 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 puck. I'm not joking. That's exactly what they sound like. I can stand there and go, and they can go pop all the time. These floors, not so much, and I get under the low, it's hilarious. So now I have no shoulders to work with. I have no forehead to work with. I have feet that are hilarious, apparently. And then there's my knees. Knees bend this way, normally, right? Okay. Every now and then, my knees, especially the left one, decide, nah, we're not going to go this way. That's common. That's easy. We're going to go this way. Knees don't go that way. I know because that happened to me and it hurts. So this would happen. Ah, and so I'm not. Next thing you know, you see me walking around on purpose, making sure that when I step on that left leg, the knee is half sort of bent a bit because we don't want to take the chance of it going eek again. And then when I'm lying down, it's getting worse. I may have to have a knee replacement someday. I don't know. I'm hoping I don't have to. But suddenly the knee will go out of joint, like when that happens, you can hear me scream from here to Toronto because it hurts. And on top of that, you can't get it back into because I have to put it back into place. Okay, that means I gotta back in. Oh, gee. And I can hear he yelling because it hurts. I mean, and you move your knee and you move your leg and you can't move it, you can't bend it, you can't do it. It's just stuck in that position. If I have me on my knees when this happens, I can usually kind of roll over a little bit and it'll pop in that way. But if I'm lying down, oh my God, it takes me about good 15, 20 minutes to get it back in place. And I'm screaming the whole time, okay? And my son, what's he doing? He's laughing. He thinks it's funny. He likes watching me in pain, apparently. What a child he is.
It's hilarious, though, before you're telling.
It is not.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. You know.
What are you telling? What are you telling?
Oh, yeah. You know, so that's the things I deal with. Now, unfortunately, my father, his family on his side, they seem to have developed over the years something we used to call the Loisel twitch because we didn't even know what the heck to call it. Nobody really knew at that time. All I knew was that if you got it, you cannot not resist moving. You have to kick your knee out or move it in some way. You have to stop. Because if you don't, it feels like there's little ants and bugs crawling up and down your leg until you move it. So you get down. And you're fine for 2 minutes if you're lucky. Then back up again it goes. And this can go on and go on and go on. And we now know it's called restless leg syndrome. I figured that out one time when I was watching a commercial for the medication, and they're describing the symptoms, and I'm thinking, that's what I have! Okay, now I now have a name for this nonsense. My one aunt, I mean, as you get older, it seems to get worse. And mine started probably when I was about, I was in high school, late high school, when I got it. And so by now, I have it in both my legs, both my arms, and if I'm really lucky, I can get it through my entire body. Well, that's fun. I mean, literally, I find myself lying on the bed with my legs and my arms underneath me to control them and praying, like, dear God, please let it stop. Because it's going to drive me mad. Now, I could take medication for it. My doctor doesn't want me to do that. And frankly, I have been surviving, believe it or not, on extra strength Tylenol. I don't know whether it's in my head and it's working. I don't care. It seems to be working, and that's fine. I've gone through times where I haven't had to use it much, and then I've had times where I've had to use it a lot. My son doesn't have that either. I wish he did.
Hey!
I really did.
Nice.
Part of me really, really wishes he got it. You know
that
why?
Is not nice.
Because he also thinks this is funny.
I'm sorry, what are you doing?
I was sitting in Revenue Canada office around, middle April, early April. This is during obviously tax season. That's when we had the Revenue Canada office in London. And I'm sitting there, and of course it's crowded. My legs decide this is a good time to act up. So I was sitting there. I'm trying not to move them, but I know I have to. I have to stamp them up and down and then kick them and kick them out. I look like I'm having some kind of a seizure, okay? And people are staring at me. And I'm trying, please forgive me. I'm not having a seizure. I'm just got bad legs that are driving me mad. I've been on the bus, and this has happened. You're sitting there, and you're like doing it. I've been my ex-husband, and he used to call it, I'm doing the jig. That's what it looks like, I'm doing the jig. My dad, he had it so bad that my mom would be in bed, and they'd be sleeping, and middle of the night, he sound asleep. And this happens when you're sleeping. You don't have no idea. Unfortunately, the person you're sleeping with do. Because they're diving for cover. And my mom would manage to get away from his flying leg. But when he started going like this, like a chicken, that's when she would leave. She could handle the leg. She couldn't handle the chicken arms. I do that. I don't do that. I just go like this, Oh, it's so much fun. Oh. So that's when the thing, and most of my family on my dad's side has it, and we talk to other people who are younger who are just now sort of getting it, and they ask us, "But does anybody else have this problem?" Oh, yeah, the form line starts back there, okay. And like I say, it gets worse as you get older. So if at 58 I'm like this, I can't wait till I'm 80. My aunt, like I said before, she went to go to the doctor, and no doctor understood what it was. They had no idea how to treat it because they didn't know what it was. And they kept thinking it was in her head. It was, a whole bit. She finally got to one doctor in Regina who gave her medication for, and believe it or not, it was for Parkinson's disease, and it seemed to help. So there might be some connection to Parkinson's, I don't know. But that's, my body, my life. Like I say, as I say in my title, my life as I see it. So, allergy season, and he's still here. So he,
Sorry.
Sorry, man, but nothing else. So, but that's my show for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun doing it. I'm going to now take off, and I'll be back in a few minutes, apparently, because when I'm appearing on his show, too, for Nest TV, on one of his topics. So you're going to be seeing me again there, and then again later on tonight when we do game night. Apparently, you're going to be seeing a lot of me tonight. That's fine.
Whether you want to or not.
Yeah, real like whether you want to or not. So, but in the meantime, you have a good week, and don't forget to subscribe, to like my show, to share it if you want to, please. Leave comments. Support me in some way, please. I need support. And but you have a good week, and I will see you next week. Everyone for Nest saying bye-bye.
Sorry for laughing.
That's part of the show. I'm glad.